Okay, I've actually hit start stream this time, and it says we are live on YouTube, so that is fantastic. Let's get this light on. Ready for our TikTok stream. There we go. And we're live. Oh, plenty loud enough. Good. Okay, turn off the preview. Pop out the chat, if you will. Thank you. Just pop this down here. And we are ready. Okay. Oh, that's loud. Let me just turn the volume music down. If I can find it. That'll do. There we go. Okay. Hello. Hi, everyone. Just make sure everything's set up properly. Okay. So. Hello. Hi. Welcome. Welcome back to Farm Sim Friday. This is my first stream in almost 3 weeks. I'm sorry. I'm very, very sorry. I've been away for a while. Things have happened. A lot of things have happened in the last couple of weeks. Some good things have happened, some bad things have happened. As you can probably tell, I'm a bit full of cold right now because I've not been very well for the last few days. Then before that, my sister came to visit me, and I got to see my nephew for the first time in a few months. So that was great. And then before that, my spider died. My pet jumping spider, she died last Monday. You may have seen the post that I made about that. So it's been like, for the last 3 weeks, it's just been one thing after another. Just things have happened, and I've ended up being way too busy to do any TikTok stuff. So I'm very sorry there hasn't been anything going on for the last couple of weeks. I do want to get back into stuff today. Like I say, I'm still not quite perfect. You can hear I've got a bit of a sore throat and a blocked nose, but I didn't want to wait any longer to get back into things, so I'm getting back into things today, and you'll just have to deal with me sounding a little bit more nasally than I usually do, which is quite a lot anyway, but now even more so. So we're going to dive in. Hi Ashbridge, says JT6099, how are you doing? Max says hi as well, hello Max. So, we are diving straight back in to Moss Valley, and the first stream was a bit of a disaster. We played Moss Valley 3 weeks ago now. We did our first episode, which was supposed to be like a sort of tour of the map, and sort of getting to know the map. It didn't go well. My camera was lagging out real bad. I hadn't played the game for ages, so I wasn't, I had to re-familiarise myself with all the controls and stuff. And to top it all off, I forgot to press start streaming on OBS, so that entire stream didn't actually go out on YouTube. I had to upload the TikTok version to YouTube afterwards. But I remembered today I am actually live on YouTube right now. If you wanna join us over there instead, please feel free. But I thought maybe we'd do a sort of take two and, kind of just pretend that first episode didn't happen and start again. We're not actually starting again. We are going to continue where we left off, but we'll treat this as the first proper episode of this series of Farm Sim Friday. So let's dive in and let's see where we are and what we did last time, and then we'll see what we got to do today. Oh, big bit of lag there. It's only because we just loaded into the game. So if we check the map, this is Moss Valley Farm. We did take a little bit of a tour around the map last time. Not a proper tour. We didn't really get to see all of these built-up areas at either end of the map, but maybe we'll get to see those today. But what we did do in the last episode is we bought Field 31. We harvested the wheat that was in there, and we planted some barley. So there's barley growing in there right now. We're going to go and take a look at that before we do anything else. Let's pick a tractor. Oh, radio. How do I turn that off? Okay, I don't know if the radio in this game is like DMCA compliant or whatever it is, so we're going to keep the radio turned off just for safety. Make City Skylines Saturday or Sunday. I would love to play City Skylines on stream. Unfortunately, I don't think I don't know. I don't think it'd be interesting enough. The way I play City Skylines, I'm extremely detail oriented with City Skylines. Like, I'll spend hours and hours just working on like one single building to get it looking perfect, you know. And I just don't feel like people would enjoy watching that. You know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people would like to see that. If you would, let me know. Okay, I'm going to just turn the graphics up real quick to high. It'll take a second to load. Thanks for following, by the way, Hugo. Okay, there we go. That's a bit better. I'm also very mindful of the camera, of the lag today, both in-game and on the camera. It seems like the game is taking the brunt of the lag today. Normally it's the camera. Normally the camera lags, but the game runs smoothly. Right now it looks like the game's lagging, but the camera's going smoothly. So I don't know. We'll just carry on as we are and see what happens. I am going to turn the speed up a little bit because I want it to actually get light enough to see what's happening. It could just because I've only just launched the game as well. Sometimes, you know, it's one of those games where sometimes it takes a few minutes for all the assets to load in and it to stop lagging. Windows 10, says Scarecrow. Yes, I am on Windows 10. I refuse to upgrade to Windows 11. I will do so at the last possible opportunity, because I've seen it and I don't like the look of it. Okay, so we're going to drive up to Field 31 now, which is our field, and we're going to see how it looks. Let me just... Come on, can you... Let's get some daylight out here, please. I'm going to turn the time right up to 360. I assumed that because most steering wheels don't work on Windows 11. Thanks for letting me know, Scarecrow. That's all the more reason for me to not upgrade to Windows 11. I mean, I will upgrade to Windows 11 eventually. You know, it's one of those. Eventually, I'm going to have to, right? But I feel like it's still too new. To the point where there's a lot of teething troubles with it, and they haven't worked out most of the major kinks and stuff. So I just don't really see any reason to upgrade until it becomes necessary. Like until it's significantly, until it's actually worth, you know, until it's better than Windows 10, which is going to take a while because Windows 10 is like one of the best versions of Windows, in my opinion. You know, until it gets to the stage where it's actually worth upgrading to it, I'm holding off on upgrading to Windows 11. Why won't this gate shut? You have to stand in such a specific spot to get the gate to work properly. Okay. So, oh, the time's still on 60. Whoa, let's turn the time down to 5. In fact, let's turn it down to 2. Let's turn it down to 2 for now. So, field 31, that's this field here on the right. This is the field, this is the only field that we own at the minute. We bought it in the last stream. We harvested the wheat that was in here, and then we planted barley, so there's barley growing in here right now. And we used a direct drill with fertilizer, so it's already had 1 stage of fertilization. However, it might need a bit more because we now have precision farming as well. The FS25 version of precision farming has just released. I have it installed, so I think the first job today is going to be to buy a soil sampling machine, and we'll get some soil samples of the field, which is, you know, like one of the key first steps in precision farming. We can turn those headlights off now as well, by the way. What map says... is that Raj? Rage? Oh, Rage. What map says Rage? The map is called Moss Valley. It's a fairly new map, UK based. It's actually based on an area in Sheffield, which is not far from where I live, IRL. I'm from Doncaster. But yeah, it's a map based on Sheffield. Great map from what I've seen of it so far. We haven't really played much of it, so, you know, still getting a feel for it. Oh, there goes the camera, lagging away. I mean, it was inevitably gonna happen, so... Also, I'll try to avoid sniffling too close to the microphone. Like I say, I am getting over a bad cold at the minute, so I apologise if you do have to hear the occasional sniff, but I'll try not to do it too close to the mic if that happens. What map is this, says Jordan. Once again, Jordan, this is called Moss Valley. It's based in Sheffield. Well, actually, technically it's based in Derbyshire. It's like the very, very northern end of Derbyshire, which borders on Sheffield. Do you run any mods on ETS2, says Just Nile. At the minute, Just Nile, well, at the minute I'm not playing ETS2. I've been taking a bit of a break from it for the last month or so. But at the minute I've not been playing with mods, because I've been playing on Truckers MP, which is an unmodded multiplayer server. I do like to play Euro Truck with mods, though. Back when I first started playing Euro Truck on stream, we played with quite a lot of mods, which is how I was able to drive all the way to South Africa, which took me like 10 weeks, but we did that. But I'm a big fan of mods in general. If a game is moddable, I will use mods, you know, Farming Sim, Minecraft, Euro Truck. I like playing games with lots of mods. Okay, where is the soil sampling machine in the shop? It'll probably be under... It's not under miscellaneous. Let's check under mods, and then find precision farming. There we go. So we want the Azaria Scout. I'm only going to lease it, because we've only got one field. It's going to take us like 10 minutes to do the whole field, so we'll just lease it instead of buying. It's only going to cost us £867. Hello, Caden, how you doing? Thanks for following Roy Masoka. I hope I'm saying that right. Thank you very much. Just Nile says, want to get into Farm Sim, but I'm not sure if it's worth it because I've never played. I mean, I think it depends on if you like farming as a concept, you know? I think that's kind of true with all simulator games, to be fair. I think, not that you can't enjoy a simulator game if you're not interested in the thing that's being simulated, but I think it helps. Like, you know, I think it helps if you're interested in farming to play a game like Farming Sim. Just like it helps to be interested in trucks to play a game like Euro Truck, right? It's not a necessity, but it's a good starting point. So I think if you like farming, you'll like Farming Sim, you know. Kind of goes without saying, but I said it anyway. It's definitely Marmite. I do think, yeah, it is a very Marmite kind of game, Toonish. Well said. Because it is kind of love it or hate it, right? And I've got to say I love it. Thanks for following L2 Dickhead. Great username. I'm all over the road, by the way. Obviously, this is a British map, so very narrow roads, very narrow country lanes. But we now have the Isaria Scout on the back, which is our soil sampling machine. So we're going to head to field 31. We're going to take some soil samples. We're going to find out what kind of soil we have in our field, and then that will show us, you know, what kind of fertilizer we need to use on it. Good to see you back. Thank you, Dagger. Thanks for following as well, Lewis7990 and Toonish. Very kind of you both. There we go. It doesn't actually seem like the lag is too bad today. Let me know how it appears on stream. But it seems like my camera isn't lagging as much as it normally does. Probably jinxed it by saying that. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to destroy the crops, am I? No, they're not. They're not tall enough to be destroyed yet, so we're safe. Okay, I need to see the controls, because I have not used this since FS22. Unfold soil sampling unit. There we go. On the minimap there in the bottom left, you can see a green circle around the tractor. That's how big the sample area is. So we'll try and take as few samples as possible to cover the whole field. We'll take our first sample here, like so. Flashing yellow, that means that a sample's being taken. There we go. And then on the minimap, the area that we've sampled appears in a darker colour, so we can tell where we've been and where we haven't. Now, you don't really need to get every single, you know, you don't need to get every single corner of the field. If, like, 90% of the field is a certain soil type, you can probably assume that the whole field is just that soil type. But I have OCD, and I need to make sure that the field is completely covered. Like, there can't be a single square inch that isn't sampled. Which is going to end up costing us more money, because I think you are charged per sample. Again, sorry for sniffling. Trans Farmer kind of based, thank you. What is that username? Afwer JJ Jury Cat. Thank you. Interesting username. Oh, I don't want to sample next door's field either. We don't want to be giving them free soil samples. No, no, no. You sample your own field, mate. But I think we kind of have to Nick says, why are you farming your Atrans? I didn't realise that no trans person has ever farmed in the history of mankind. I am the first. I'm literally the first trans person to ever farm. It's not even real farming, a video game. I'm the first trans person to ever play Farming Simulator, apparently. Oop, I accidentally moved while the drill was down there. It doesn't actually make a difference, but obviously, in real life, We'll probably break the drill. Back a little bit. There we go. Take another one there. I think actually I should probably be lifting up the entire drill after each sample. That would be more realistic, rather than dragging it along the ground. And I'm not the biggest stickler for realism in Farming Sim, but, you know, if I have the chance, we might as well do it properly, you know. This version of Precision Farming also adds tram lines, by the way, which were not in the FS22 version of Precision Farming, as far as I remember. But you can see in next door's field there, you can see the tram lines, and if I look on the actual map, if I can find it, if I look on the actual map, you can see that our neighbouring fields have... Oh, never mind, you can't actually see them on the map, but you can see that. You can see that there's tram lines in our neighbour's field. And you can actually use tram lines as you would use them in real life, you know, to make sure that you're lined up to use the equipment. Make sure that you're using the equipment as efficiently as possible, you know, by following the existing lines. I just took a massive sample of next door's field there. No, not to worry. Are you the one that does that fan thing in them viral videos, says Vickers? I have no idea what you're talking about, Vickers, so probably no. Maybe someone else. Excuse me. I know I said I wasn't gonna sniff into the microphone, and I just literally just leaned right into the microphone to sniff there. I'm sorry. I really am trying not to do it near the microphone. You don't want to hear me sniffling and coughing, it's gross, right? But sometimes it happens. Ugh. Okay. Hay fever, says Pete. It's not hay fever, no, it's just a cold. I think I might have picked it up from my nephew. As mentioned earlier, my sister came to visit last week. She lives in Wales, so I don't really get a chance to see her or my nephew very often. They come up like 3 or 4 times a year. I think I may have picked up a cold from him. But I'm over the worst of it. You know, pretty much just a runny nose and a bit of a cough right now. Okay. Some deer over there, by the way. What's that on the back, says Ryan Murphy. This is a soil sampler. I'm playing with the Precision Farming mod. The 2020, the FS25 version of the Precision Farming mod just released a few days ago, I think. So that's what I'm playing with right now. And we're just taking some soil samples, figure out what kind of soil we're working with, which will allow us to, you know, use the most efficient amount of fertilizer and lime and stuff like that. Don't understand how to use it. Too much words on the screen, says Ryan. Basically, you just go around your field. If you can see the mini-map in the bottom left corner, there's a green circle around the tractor. That's the sample area, so if I lower the drill in this area and take a sample, it takes a sample of all the soil in that radius. And then if we press this button, the soil samples are now sent to laboratory for analysis. You'll see the results of the soil types on the map soon. So I think it works. Oh no, don't take another sample. I think it works. I think you get the results the same day. So I think we only have to wait like a couple of in-game hours before we actually see the results of the soil sample on the map. So we'll check those out soon. But first of all, I'm gonna take this back to the shop. Actually, before I take it back to the shop, do we want to maybe buy another field? Because if we do, I'll keep hold of the sampling drill so we can take a sample of that field as well. Let's have a look on the map and see if there's any other small fields that we can take. I don't want to take anything too big. There's some absolutely huge fields on this map. We don't want to go for anything absolutely massive. The field we got right now, 31, is a good, mid-sized field. 28 doesn't look too bad. What's in 28? Parsnips. Okay, we're not buying field 28. I cannot afford a parsnip harvester right now. 17. What's that in 17? It's not carrots. It's corn. Is it ready to harvest? It's already been harvested. Oh, well, that's a shame. What about fields 13 and 14? Green beans, need a special machine. Grass, don't want to do grass right now. What's the map? A few people asking what's the map. The map's called Moss Valley. Nearly said Hope Valley there. The map's called Moss Valley. It's based on an area in Sheffield. Okay, so I want a field that's ready to harvest. Is a crop that we can harvest with a regular combine. And is not too big. All of these fields around here are ready to harvest. So if any of those have got the kind of crops that we are after... I think most of these are grass. Yeah, almost all of these are grass. There's red beet, need a special machine for that. Parsnips, need a special machine for that. Green beans, need a special machine for that. 35 is sunflowers. They're still growing. So I guess that could be an option. That's all grass. These three here, they're all grass. There's so much of it is just grass. Maybe we could maybe 35. Let's take a drive down to field 35. I just want to have a look at it and see if it's a good candidate. It's a very narrow field, so I'm imagining it's probably on a really steep hill or something like that, which might make it a bit unsuitable, but let's head down there and have a look. We don't really have much to do in terms of field work at the minute, because we've just planted in our only field, so we've got a little bit of time to spare to get a proper feel for the map and try and scout out some fields that we might want to buy, or fields that we could buy further down the line. So let's go to field 35 and see if it's suitable. It's a very sharp corner, this. Fortunately, the hedges don't actually have any collision on them, so we don't have to worry about getting stuck on the hedges. There's also no traffic on this map, which I think is probably a good thing, because the roads are very narrow. I think it'd just be a nightmare if there was AI traffic on this map. It might be nice to have a little bit in the towns, because there's like a little bit of a village at either end of the map. Oh. Okay, I didn't actually realise that the road went straight through the middle of our farm. But apparently it does. I'm liking this tractor, by the way, the New Holland T7. Ooh. Big fan of New Holland. Oh, I've always liked New Hollands. My granddad, when he worked on a farm in our area, he drove a New Holland. That was like his tractor that he always drove. Then later he got a Case Puma, which was... yeah, it was alright. I don't mind the Case Puma, it's kind of sort of similar in terms of power. I think he had a New Holland T6. Or it might have even been a T4. Long time ago. I nearly went into the ponds there. I don't think we've even seen this part of the map yet, have we? This is... I'm going to pull over just for a second, because this is really nice. We got a little pond here. Very pretty. And then a little pond over here as well. Very nice. And a very sharp corner to get around it. So I'm sure that'll be fun when we've got some bigger equipment further down the line. I just hit that dry stone wall. What's the map called? Says Kens. Yes, sorry Kens. The map, as Liam says, is called Moss Valley. Oh, sorry again. So that's field 52 on our left. I think 53's up ahead. Oh dear. Is it on Xbox? Yes, it is, Kens. It is cross-platform. So you can get it on your Xbox or PlayStation. Okay, this is field 53. So this is a field that I'm considering buying. I'm not saying for definite that I will buy it. But let's see how it looks. Okay, it's quite a long, thin field. It is on a bit of a hill. It's not too bad, though. That's not a very steep hill, to be honest. Maybe up the top end it gets a little bit steeper, but I think this is, like, manageable. It's a decent size. I think this could be a good choice. I think we could buy this. Okay, this corner. Yeah, I think this is a pretty decent field. It's a good size. It's not too steep. How much is it? It is. Did I just buy it? Nope. Buy. There we go. It's 51,000. That's really good. What's growing in the field, says Pete? Sunflowers at the minute. Now, we can harvest sunflowers with a combine harvester. We do need to buy a special header for it. But we don't need to buy an entirely new harvester, you know? Where are special headers? There we go. Yeah, we need one of these headers. And we could just lease it, to be quite honest. Is that really the only? That's the only sunflower header. These are the only two sunflower. No, that one's not even. That one's for sorghum. There's only one sunflower header in the game, and it's massive. That's a bit. I'm not a big fan of that. There was in FS22 there was a much smaller sunflower header. I think this might even be too big for our combine. So I might have to have a look on the mod hub and see if there's something a bit more suitable. But I think this is a good field. I think this is an interesting field. It's a good size and shape. It's not too steep. P says, good luck driving that big boy down those lanes. Yeah, the only problem would be the width of the header. Oh, thank you, Seb. The corn header can also do sunflowers. Of course it can. I completely forgot about that. The corn headers do also do sunflowers, so we could get something like this. Way more manageable. That's a perfect size for our combine. That confirms it. I'm buying this field. We're having these sunflowers. There we go. They're not ready to harvest yet, though. And I don't want to... I was going to take some soil samples, but I don't want to drive right into the middle of the field and run over all of my lovely sunflowers. So I think for now, we'll wait on that. I'm going to take this back to the shop. And maybe we should pick up a header as well while we're at the shop. We'll head back to the farm first because that's on our way back, and then we'll see if we'll see about getting a header for the sunflowers. When are sunflowers ready? Just looking at my crop calendar. March and April. Okay, wait. I may have made a mistake here. These apparently aren't going to be ready for another 5 months. So we're going to have to look after them for the next 5 months before they're actually ready to harvest. Oh well, it's too late. We've bought it now. This is going to be a nightmare as well. This is going to be an absolute nightmare to get equipment into this field because we have to bring it through the gate, then reverse it back into the field. Or we do a massive U-turn in whoever owns this field. You know, whoever this is, we just use their field to do a big U-turn. But I wouldn't like to do that. Oh, whoops. So I think there's going to be a lot of awkward manoeuvring to get in and out of fields on this map. Which is realism for you, you know? What map is this, says Ruben. Once again, Ruben, this is called Moss Valley. Do a donut over that crop, says P. I could do. Like I say, I do try to at least be sensible in this game. Excuse me. So we've bought a second field, which means we now have 2 fields, both of which have already been planted. There's really nothing that we can do until they're ready to harvest now. So I guess we could do some contract work. We could maybe look at getting some animals or something like that. I think we've already got chickens, if I remember correctly. I'm sure we bought chickens last time. Jim says, I had the one before this, excellent game. It is an excellent game, Jim. Big farming simulator fan. Hi, Oliver O'Riordan, how are you doing? Is it free, and is it just for steering wheel? It's definitely not free. I think is it like 40 quid? I don't know. I bought the collector's edition, which was 60 quid, but that's, you know, casual fans won't fork out for that, obviously. I think the base game is fairly expensive as well. But it isn't just for steering wheels. You can play it with a keyboard and mouse or a controller. Does your gear shifter work for Farming Sim? Says Reese. Unfortunately not, Reese. Gear shifter here does nothing. It has no effect on the game. There goes the camera lagging out again. We managed to get like 45 minutes without it happening, so a partial success. Okay, so what is our where do I see the equipment that I own? I need to find out what make of combine we have. It's the Vario, it's the Evian 450. Okay, Evian 450. So, corn headers. I think, well, since this is the only class header, I think this is probably going to be the one to go for. Why are you in a dress? Says James Donahue. I'm not in a dress, James. This is not a dress. It's actually a pair of dungarees. So, oh, I didn't actually buy that, did I? Okay, we're going to buy the header. And that means we're also going to have to take the combine to the shop to pick the header up, because that's the only way to pick it up. So we'll take the soil sampler back to the shop, then we'll take the combine harvester to the shop, and then we'll figure it out from there. Excuse me. Do you ever touch grass? Says Officially Psycho. I certainly do, Officially Psycho. If you'd like to see a 20-minute video of me touching grass, you need to look no further than my like the third video on my TikTok, which is a 20-minute documentary that I made on my visit to Castleton last month. Admittedly, that was over a month ago. I am looking to go again at some point. I haven't actually decided yet where I want to go for my next trip to the Peak District. I was thinking maybe Lady Bower Reservoir in Bamford, or maybe Frogger Edge, or maybe I could go a little bit further afield and go to the Yorkshire Dales instead, go to like Ilkley or somewhere like that. But I don't really have a hard plan in mind yet, so it's probably going to be a while before the next Peak District video, but it is definitely something that I want to do more of. There we go. Okay. Ooh, don't knock it over. What map is that? What map is this? Says Ozian. This is called Moss Valley. I just remembered we've got some bags of seed here as well. Do we have a tractor with a front loader attachment? Yes, the Massey has a front loader attachment, so we could bring it. I mean, we could just take this to the shop and pick it up with that. We're just moving things about, really. We're almost an hour into the stream, and all we've really been doing is moving things to and fro. But that is really all there is to do at the minute, because we've only just planted our barley. We can't really do anything with it just yet. The samples might be in though. We'll have a look when we get back to the farm if our soil samples have been returned. Hate from Spain, thanks very much from Spain. Do let me know where you're watching from, by the way. It's always nice to hear where people are viewing from. I think like 97% of my audience are in the UK, according to my analytics. But a few people do watch from around the world as well, so let me know where you're watching from. Wales says P, England says Dan, Madrid, nice one. Let's park this up here. I think this is where it came from, right? Oh no, it was this shed here, I think. Oh, I think I've just clipped the corner post there. Yep. Straighten it up a little bit. Boy or girl, says Josh. Well, I'm neither a boy nor a girl because I'm an adult. So, woman. That'll do. You are not, says Shane. It's not open to debate, Shane. It's not open to interpretation or opinion. It's a fact. So I don't really give a fuck whether you agree or not. Oh, I've just we just lost the header the header trailer a little bit there. The thing is, I said in the last stream as well, if you watch the last stream, I think you may recall that when I parked the combine harvester, I literally said this is going to cause problems when I have to reverse it out again. And here it is causing problems. You know what, just stay there. I'll sort you out later. I've got a new header to pick up, so go away. Also, I've still got the combine unfolded, by the way. Let's put that away. And I think since we're going on the main road with a... well, not a main road, but since we're going out on the road with a big piece of equipment, we'll have the flasher on. Have the flashing lights on. I was about to say I'll hire you to park my car for me, but I've changed my mind. Sorry, Peas. Sorry. Why did I come this way? Why did I come this way? Can I even fit through here? Just. Oh my god, that's very tight. Okay, this... I already know that this map is going to be a nightmare once we start to get bigger equipment. This is not a very big combine. This is quite small in the grand scheme of things. We are going to have so much trouble when we start to get actual big equipment later on. What map is this? The map is called Moss Valley. What type of shoes do you normally wear, says Lucas? Oh, interesting question, Lucas. It kind of depends. I've got quite a few shoes, but not like a ridiculous amount. I just have different shoes for different purposes. You know, I've got a pair of boots for when I go out walking or when I'm doing stuff in the garden. I've got a pair of trainers, you know, if I'm just going to the shop and just want to put something comfortable on. I've got a few slightly more dressier shoes for like special occasions and stuff. But I don't think I've really got one pair that I wear more than any other. In fact, if I do, it's probably my boots, to be fair. Because they're just the most practical. Is it a modded map? Says user lots of numbers. Yes, it is. It is a modded map. It's called Moss Valley, but it is crossplay, so you can get it on consoles as well. What wheel you're on? Says Man United. This is the Logitech G heavy equipment wheel. I understand you're doing this because girls pay less for car insurance. Respect the hustle. Once again, girls. It's very telling that you use boys and girls instead of men and women. I'm not a girl, I'm an adult. And also I don't drive. I don't drive in real life. Why, says Josh Gridis? Why don't I drive? Because I don't want to, or need to. There's really no, like, practical advantage to me driving. It's like an unnecessary expense for me, so I've never had the inclination to drive. Don't really want or need to. Hi Saul, says Charlie. How you doing, Charlie? Big fan. Thank you, Charlie. So, for example, you have pumps when it comes to dress shoes. Not really. When I say dress shoes, I don't mean like formal dress shoes. I mean like informal dress shoes, like high heels and shit like that. I have like 2 pairs of high heels that I've worn once ever, but I have them. I don't really have any like formal shoes, to be honest. I don't have. I mean, not like super formal, not like the kind of shoes that you'd wear to a funeral. So if a funeral happened next week, I'd have to buy some new shoes. Let's put it that way. Is it Pride Month, or is my mate Lion, says the Riley? It is Pride Month, yes indeed. Happy Pride Month. Thanks for answering the question, says Lucas. No problem, Lucas. P says, I only drive for work, otherwise I'm complete passenger princess. Honestly, same, P. Well, to be fair, I do use public transport most of the time. Whenever I need to get anywhere, I do live in an area with fairly decent public transport. But, you know, if someone offers me a lift, you know, if a family member offers to drive me somewhere, I'm not going to say no. You know, I'm not going to turn down the offer. Oh, we can turn that off now that we're back in the field. Okay. I need to put this somewhere where it's not going to get stuck. So let's try. I mean, I could put it along the side of the shed, maybe. Can you give me a shout out, says Charlie? Sure, Charlie. Hi, Charlie. Say hi to Charlie, everyone. Oh, could you give my mate a shout out? His name's Marcel. Okay. Hi, Marcel, as well. What map, says Mason? This is Moss Valley. Okay, Okay, the header's also not properly on the trailer. I don't know why, but for some reason, the header's not locking onto the trailer like it's supposed to. Wrong angle completely. Maybe cab view would be better for this job. Okay, let's try putting it on again. See, it should snap into place. I think the... Okay, well now I've completely fucked it. Now it's stuck. now there's no way that I'm getting it back. Oh, can I just remind you, we have done no farming so far today. We have not done any farming whatsoever. We've taken some soil samples. That's the closest to any actual farming that's happened today. Excuse me. Don't swear, Saul, says Charlie. I'm sorry, Charlie. If you're new around here, expect swearing. I'm sorry to say. I am known to swear. Oh, thanks for following, P, by the way. And thank you as well, Jack and Luke Warburton. Okay, let's try this again. Oh, all I want to do... I'm sorry. If I could avoid dying for a second... all I want to do is put the header on the trailer and have it not fall off. Ugh. Okay, I'm okay. I'm alive. I don't want to mount the trailer, I just want to put the header on the trailer. Okay, that is as lined up as it's going to get. I'm dropping it here. That's pretty perfect. Now, can we get around it without knocking it off again? The trailer's too small, says Josh. This is the trailer that I started with. So if the trailer's too small, unfortunately that is the fault of the map maker, because this is all starting equipment. This is all equipment that I got when I started playing on this map. Now that you mention it though, it definitely does look too small. But yeah, I didn't choose this trailer, I didn't buy this. This is just what I had when I started on the map. Also, where am I taking it? I was going to park it next to the shed. Do you remember me? I was a real Irish lad, says Swaggy Kerbit. Hi, Swaggy Kerbit. I do vaguely remember, yes. I'm very sorry. You know, you gotta forgive me. Lots of people comment on my streams. You know, sometimes it's hard to remember names. But it does ring a bell. So welcome back. That's not good enough. That's in my neighbour's field right now. Let's try and... Oh, I accidentally let go of the wheel there. Let's try and get it as close to the side of the shed as possible. Let's go there. I think that's acceptable, you know. It is It is quite close to this field, but I think, you know, if whoever owns that field can avoid those wind turbines, they can avoid my header. So I'm going to leave it there. That's fine. And then we'll park this up. There we go. And then, oh, oh, okay. Why didn't you just get out the right-hand side instead? Probably because there's no steps on the right-hand side. Okay, well, never mind. Too late. We've done it now. Do I have a front loader attachment? I don't actually. I don't have a front loader. Which is interesting because the Massey Ferguson here does have the attachment for a front loader. We just don't have the actual front loader. So maybe let's go and buy one of those as well. And while we're at it, let's put this trailer away somewhere. If we can find somewhere where it fits. I mean, I can't get over how small our sheds and everything are. It's going to be a real pain in the arse to find places to actually fit all of our equipment. I guess it could go there for now. Can you get out of my way, tree? Don't hit the sign. Don't hit the sign. Don't hit the sign. We didn't hit the sign. Thanks for following, by the way, everyone. We're getting quite a few followers in right now. I hit the sign. Okay. I think that'll be alright there. Is there anything important in there? No. Okay. Well, I don't really mind blocking the door then. What wheel? Says William Granger. This is the Logitech G heavy equipment wheel. What map? The map is called Moss Valley. Is that straight? It'll do. It'll do. So now I'm heading back to the shop again because I'm going to get a front loader so that we can transport stuff to and from the shop. We do have a telehandler, but I don't really want to be driving that to and from the shop. I want to keep that at the farm just for doing stuff around the yard. Whenever we need to like pick up deliveries from the shop, I'd rather do it with a tractor with a front loader attachment. So that's what we're going to do now. Once again, we are well over an hour into the stream now and we have done no farming of any kind. we just been driving around. But it's been fun. There's been some good conversation in the chat, which is always appreciated. Oh, I didn't actually return the scout, did I? How do I return it? I don't think I've ever returned anything in FS25. There we go. Okay, that has been returned. So, oh, also I need to check the horsepower of this tractor. Uh, 165. So if we then go to front loaders, I think this size, this mid-sized one would be best. Quickie or Hauer? I'm going to go for Quickie. I like a Quickie. I just think the Quickie front loaders look nicer than the Hauer ones. So let's have a Quickie. Massey Ferguson red. Ooh, no. Actually, I might just keep it black, to be honest. Yeah, oh, that's good. Yeah, let's have Massey Ferguson red on the top, but then keep the rest of it black. I think that looks quite nice. And then we're also going to need a pallet fork. I think there's just this one available to us at the minute, so we'll get that, the Albert pallet fork. And there we go. Oh yeah, very nice. I like that. That's good. That's a nice looking front loader. It's a good job we didn't go for the 160 horsepower one, because I think it would have been too big. This is the perfect size. And then we just need the fork. And then we're going to try to pick up that pallet. And because I hate myself, I'm going to try and do it in first person as well. I'm going to try and do it from inside the cab, which always goes wonderfully. Okay, wish me luck. Going down. Wait, hang on. Okay, let's try that. I missed it. Okay, never mind, never mind. It was worth a try, but it's damn near impossible to do in first person. Obviously, in a real tractor, you could lean forwards to get a proper look. You don't have that luxury in this one. There we go. All of this, we bought this entire front loader for the sake of 4 bags of seeds that I could have picked up with my bare hands. But we've done it now. And it will be worth it anyway later down the line. You know, we are going to use this for other things, so... Excuse me. So I'm not mad about it. I think we've made a wise purchase. Thanks for following Footy for Life 55. Oh, I need a quick drink. Camera's lagging again a bit. Sorry. What does AMA mean? Says Joe. Sorry. AMA means ask me anything. Joe, I do try to be an open book. I mean, that's what I'm here for, really. You know, partly for the game, but partly for the conversation as well. You know, like I don't do these streams to just sit in silence and play a game for 3 hours. You know, that's not what streams are about, right? It's about the conversation. It's about talking to people, you know. So, if there's anything you want to discuss, anything you want to ask me, go right ahead. Oh, whoops! I'm terrible at front loaders. There we go. Are you on PC or Xbox, says Harry? I'm on PC, Harry. Okay, actually, I was going to leave that there, but there's no way... that's going to 100% get lost in there and never be seen again. I need to put these somewhere where I can actually find them when I need them. Why are you wearing a dress? Says Mike Hunt. I'm not. These are dungarees. Why are you deepening your voice? Says Ahern954. I'm not. This is my natural speaking voice, unfortunately. I can't put it here either, because there's still too much grass. Is there anywhere that I can put this where it's not going to get hidden in the grass? I guess up against this shed. It's not a very tidy place to put it, but... It'll do. It'll do. For now. Okay. God, I'm so bad with front loaders. I'm so bad with front loaders. On top of the yellow container, says Matty. Where's the yellow container? What yellow container are you seeing, man? Oh, that yellow container. Oh, yeah, that's... I suppose you could put stuff on top of there, really. Okay, let's park this up. We'll put it in here next to the New Holland. Do you go voice, says RME Engines. Don't have one. Legitimately don't. Unless you count this one, which is my voice. So technically... Okay. I'm going to do a save, because we haven't saved in this entire stream yet. Let's just do a quick one of those. What's the aim of the game, says Bob? Just to make money and expand the farm, basically. How are my chickens doing, by the way? I keep forgetting that we have chickens. They're doing good. They've got more than enough food. They've got eggs as well. That's another good reason to have the pallet fork, because we will need to transport the eggs once we get enough of those to sell. Where are the chickens, though? I hear them. They're down here. Okay, there's the eggs so far. Obviously, we're not going to sell them until we've got a full pallet, but that's where they spawn. We do also have space here for cows. So we could get some of those. I don't know if I want to get cows this early, though, because they're quite high maintenance. Oh, do we have pigs as well? Pigs are even more high maintenance, so definitely not happening. But we do apparently have pigsties as well, so we could get those. Do we have sheep pastures? Sheep are easy. Sheep are the easiest animals besides pigs, so if we could get sheep... I don't think there's a sheep pasture that we can buy, though, so we'd have to build our own, which is quite expensive. Let's not just yet. Let's stick with what we got. I think. Oh, we can check the soil samples because I think we've had those back. Oh, that's annoying. That's very annoying. So the field is like perfectly split between 3 different types of soil. We got loamy sand, sandy loam, and loam. It's not really going to affect it that much because it's all done automatically anyway. But basically, what this means is when we go to spread fertilizer on the field, it'll automatically apply different amounts on the different soil types, which will increase our environmental score, and it'll also reduce our prices and increase the yield of our crops. So that's all good stuff. For now, though, since we have planted everything and there's nothing really to be harvested for a while, let's do some contracts. Let's see if anyone's got any jobs for us. Bale wrapping, 1,650. It's not much. What's the best paid contract? Let's see. 18 grand for spraying in field 34. 36 grand for absolutely not. Way too big. 40 grand for harvesting field 55. Also not happening. That equipment is way too slow. Cultivating, 7 grand. Field 78. That doesn't seem like a bad sized field. Let me check on the actual map. 78. Yeah, that's a decent sized field. Let's do that. We will borrow items. We do actually have the equipment to do it ourselves, but I've not driven this tractor yet. Well, that's not strictly true. We did drive the JCB... oh my god, sorry about my voice there. We did drive the JCB version of this tractor in Riverview... what's it called? The American map. I've already forgotten the name of it. But we haven't driven the Agco version of it. Manual gearbox, which is going to be fun. Fooling no one, says Don Jasp. About what, Don? What do you think it is that I'm trying to fool people about? Thanks for following Liam Waring, by the way. What map, says Aidan? This is a map called Moss Valley. I love that you're so passionate about this game, says Weekly Watcher. Thanks, Weekly Watcher. I am indeed. It's been a long time fan of Farming Sim. I think the first one that I played was 15, back on the PS4. Although I have since played the earlier ones as well. How do I get to field 78, was it? Oh, we just follow this road. Follow this road till we get to the pond, and then turn right. This is a really nice tractor, by the way. Like I say, we drove the JCB version of this tractor in Riverview Farm, and I had nothing but praise for it. Fantastic tractor, really great. For a slightly older tractor, it is really, really good. That's a dead end. It's such a difficult farm to navigate because the road goes right through the middle of the farm. And you can't tell where it goes. Sorry for coughing. Oh dear. I'm okay. Your TikTok's lagging a bit. Yeah, sorry, sorry, Weekly Watcher. The camera does lag behind every now and then, especially with this game and Euro Truck. Doesn't really happen with any other games, but these are like two of the bigger games that I play on stream. Thanks, by the way, Oliver O'Riordan for sending 70 ice cream cones. Very kind of you. And 5 keys from GG. That's very kind of you as well. Sorry that I didn't read those out sooner. I love the look of this game, says Weekly Watcher. Me too. I definitely think the atmospheric lighting, like the visual, you know, the way the game's lit and the way the game looks is an improvement over 22. I know it's a bit of a meme in the farming sim community that every time a new farming sim comes out, people are just like, oh, it's just the same game, but like with slightly better, you know, it's just the same game but with more tractors. Like, but it is an improvement. It is an improvement over 22. I mean, look at the light in here. Like, you did not get fog like this in FS22. You just didn't. Which is why I always kind of laugh when people seriously say that it's just the exact same game. Because, like, look at this. This is just objectively better looking than FS22. Fog looks great in this versus 22, says Hugh. That's what I'm saying, Hugh. Exactly. It looks so much better. Need a bigger duvet on your bed, says Lewis. Thanks for your concern, Lewis. I actually have a double duvet on my double bed. The reason it looks like a single is because it's folded in half. I always fold it in half when I make the bed, because I just think it looks nicer. Okay, this is the field, so let's unfold. And we're off. Okay, can we use guidance steering for this? We can. Okay. We'll put show lines on. There we go. Percy205 says, a tractor gender. Okay. You wearing a dress? Nope, these are dungarees. I know it does look like a dress on the stream, but they are, the trousers are, the legs are split. Has 2 separate leg holes. Are you on Twitch also, says Hugh. I'm not on Twitch currently, Hugh. I have thought about it, because a lot of people do ask if I'm on Twitch, or if I'm ever gonna be on Twitch. At the minute, no. I stream here and on YouTube. I'm live on YouTube right now, if you want to watch the stream over there. I could also stream on Twitch. Through OBS. Watch YouTube, same as TikTok, Ashbridge Industries over on YouTube. Yeah, I think if I did stream on Twitch, I'd have to do it through OBS, because I mean, I could use Streamlabs, but Streamlabs isn't really an option for me because I'm already streaming on OBS and TikTok Studio. The thing about streaming on TikTok is they do not want you to use anything except TikTok Studio. They make it really, really difficult to stream on TikTok with OBS. So you're kind of forced to use TikTok Studio if you want to stream on TikTok. Which means to be able to stream on TikTok and YouTube at the same time, I have to have OBS open for the YouTube stream and TikTok Live open for the TikTok stream. So adding Twitch on there as well would, you know, complicate matters even further. But it is definitely something that I've considered, and I know a lot of people would be interested in seeing it, so, you know, never say never. You can use Streamlabs for TikTok, says Reggie. I did not know that. I use it all the time. Maybe I'll look into that then, because obviously with Streamlabs, then I can stream to Twitch as well. So I might look into that actually. It's been a long time since I used Streamlabs though. Sorry for sniffling again. For those of you who don't know, I actually did stream on Twitch back in 2022 for a very short period of time, literally like 2 months, I think. I did like 2 months worth of streaming on Twitch before I gave up because nobody watched. I've had a lot more success here on TikTok, which is why I mainly focus my efforts here on TikTok. This is where most of my audience is. You know, on YouTube I've got 100 followers. Over here on TikTok I've got 6,000, you know, so it just makes more sense for me to concentrate my efforts on TikTok rather than YouTube. But yeah, never say never. Never say never with Twitch. It might happen. I think the other thing as well is having to manage 3 different chats at once, like having to read the Twitch chat and TikTok chat and the YouTube chat would be a little bit daunting. But again, never say never. Never say never. It could happen. I'm not saying it definitely will, but I'm not saying it definitely won't. I'm going to turn the timescale down slightly as well, because I don't want it to get dark while we're in the middle of this field. You're very pretty, says Sean Dead. Thanks, Sean. What are your opinions on people identifying as animals, says Will? My opinion is it doesn't happen. So... I mean, I'm sure it does happen in, like, extremely rare cases. There might be people who genuinely believe they are animals, in which case they, you know, that's a serious mental problem that they should probably get checked out. I think the vast majority of people who identify as animals are actually just furries, and you just don't know what a furry is. Because it's not a person who identifies as an animal. That doesn't actually happen anywhere near as much as you think it does. Are you in a uni dorm? I'm not in a uni dorm actually. This is my actual bedroom in my house. Well, I say my house, it's rented, obviously. I can't afford to own a house in this day and age. But this is my room in my house. Oh dear, sorry. I'm very sorry. Yeah, hopefully... by Sunday, which is when the next live stream's going to be, hopefully by Sunday I'm feeling a bit better. I just didn't want to... I didn't want to cancel today's stream because it's been almost 3 weeks since the last live stream, and I didn't want to put it off any longer. So even though I'm not quite feeling perfect, I didn't want to just say I'll wait again, I'll wait another 2 days. I really wanted to make sure that I did it today. But it does mean that I'm a bit sniffly and a bit coughy, so I apologise for that. Oh. Thanks for following Brandon Gaming 07 and Stefan Evans. What your pronouns, says Will? She, her. Thanks for asking, Will. Oh, we're a bit off course there. There we go. Okay, I'm going to turn the scale right down now, because I don't want it to start getting too dark. Is that the Lambo tractor, says Luke? It's not, Luke. This is an Agco tractor. The Agco White 8810. I don't think Lambo are even in the game anymore, are they? There did used to be Lamborghinis in Farming Sim. I don't think they still have the brand deal, as far as I'm aware. Let's have a look. Actually, we'll have a look in the shop in a minute. Okay. Brands. Where are the brands? There we go. L. No Lamborghini. Unfortunately, no Lamborghini anymore. Like I say, they did used to have Lamborghini in the game. My guess is the brand deal just expired and they didn't renew it. You know, they didn't want to for whatever reason. Obviously, if you're on PC, you can still get Lamborghinis with mods. But yeah, they're not in the base game anymore. Shame. What are your pronouns? She, her. Thanks for asking, Charlie. Let's stay in the cab for a little bit. Oop. Oh, okay. Thanks for following, Mashi. Love your voice, says Brandon. Thanks, Brandon. I think you'll like it even more when I don't have a cold. I mean, I'll be the first to admit that I have a quite nasally voice. So when I have a cold, it's even more nasally. It amplifies it to an extreme degree. But like I say, hopefully I'll be better on Sunday when we do Muncher's Odyssey. Oh, we still haven't even finished the second headland yet. This field is bigger than I thought it was, to be honest. Bigger than it looked on the map. I think it's quite long. It's longer than it looked on the map. Because on the map, it looks like it's about the same size as Field 31, which is the field that we own. But when I'm actually in the field now, it feels bigger, which is odd. It could be the shape as well. It's a bit more of an even shape. Maybe the rough edges make my field look smaller when it actually is about the same size. I love this game, says Mashi. Me too, Mashi. Big Farming Sim fan. You on PC or Xbox? PC or console, sorry, says Reggie. I am on PC, Reggie. If you want to know more about my PC setup, do check out my... It's either the second or third pinned video on my profile. You can't miss it. The thumbnail is a picture of my PC. But if you want to know more about my setup, about my specs, all my simulation gear and all that kind of stuff, please do check out that video. Are you using mods? Says 69-inch long. Great username, by the way. I am using mods, but I'm only using official Giant software mods. I'm not using any third-party mods. The thing is, this game, I have a tendency to install too many mods with this game. So once I start diving into the mod hub, I always end up having 300-400 mods that I don't end up using. So I find that the best solution is to just have the mods that are published by Giant Software themselves, and a couple of other little bits and pieces. Thanks for following, 69-inch long. Do you do voice lessons with transition or not, says Kaiden. I don't know, I haven't had any voice training or lessons of any kind. I've tried to do voice training by myself, just, you know, through YouTube tutorials and stuff like that, but I've never really gotten anywhere with it. I think I probably would benefit from, like, getting an actual professional voice trainer to give me a few lessons, but at the same time I don't really care that much about my voice to spend money on something like that. It's kind of, you know, it is what it is. I don't like it any more than you do, having this voice, but it is what it is. It's my voice. I'm stuck with it for the time being. Have you ever played Rust on PC? I've never played Rust, Reggie, no. It's one of those games that's always been, like, in my peripheral vision, you know? It's one of those games that people always talk about and talk highly of. But it's just not a game that I've ever gotten around to actually buying and trying for myself. So no, I've never played Rust. How much is the game? Says TRFC. I think it's like 30 quid on Steam, $29.99. Again, I bought the collector's edition, which was 60 quid. But that's how I got the ignition key here, and also these posters. My Doncaster friend, says Lewis. Hi Lewis, how are you doing? But yeah, like I say, I think the game itself is about 30 quid. The second DLC's just come out, by the way, which I haven't bought yet. I thought I did think about buying the DLC and doing like a test, doing like a DLC showcase in today's stream. But we are, you know, this is only our second episode on this new map, so I didn't really want to interrupt that by doing a DLC showcase. But I think at some point, obviously, I will get the Plains and Prairies DLC that's just dropped. And when I do get it, I'll probably do a tour, a showcase video of some kind. But for now, because by the looks of it, that DLC adds in a lot of larger equipment as well, and I don't really need any larger equipment yet, because we're only just starting a new game, you know? We're sticking with fairly small equipment for now, so I don't think I'm really going to look into buying that DLC until it actually becomes useful for this game, you know? What do you identify as, out of curiosity, says Matthew Butler. Thanks for the question, Matt. I'm a trans woman, so I was assigned male at birth, raised as a boy. I came out about 5 years ago now, in 2021, and I've lived publicly as a woman ever since. How much was the setup, says TRFC. The entire setup was just over £2,000. That includes the computer, the monitors, all of the simulation gear, the desk, the chair, the headphones, microphone, webcam, absolutely everything. If you want to see exactly how much every single thing cost, like I say, do check out my pinned video about my PC setup, where I, you know, show you absolutely everything and where I got it from, how much it all cost, etc, etc. So do please consider checking that out. But yeah, basically about £2 for absolutely everything that you see here, and some of the stuff that you don't see here because you can't actually see the computer. It's underneath my desk. God, this field is so much bigger than I thought it was. Sorry. I think we're okay. Oh. Meant to do Headlands last, says Will Markwell. No, Will. No. I appreciate that the farming community is somewhat divided on this matter, but no. Where I come from, we do the Headlands first. Thoughts on White Monster, says Harry. It's alright. Not my favourite flavour. But, you know, I'd go for it if there were no other options. I'm quite a big fan of just regular Monster, you know, like just the regular normal flavoured Monster is pretty good, you know. It's not my favourite. My favourite is the Parma Violet one that you can't get in the UK anymore unless you buy it in bulk. Which is annoying because it's literally the best thing I've ever drunk. But original Monsters, it's pretty damn good. And you can get it in multi-packs, you know. Oh, there's a Telegraph pole there. I didn't even notice there was a Telegraph pole there. Yeah, it's the thing is with the special flavours of Monster, it's a bit harder to find them in multi-packs. There are some you can get white ones in multi-packs. You can get like the Pipeline Punch in multi-packs and stuff like that. But there are a lot of flavours that you can't get in multi-packs. Whereas obviously, the regular flavour is the easiest to find in multi-packs, and I normally get them in multi-packs, and I'll have like one every couple of days. I don't even have one every day, to be honest, because they're too expensive. But I'll usually just get a 4-pack with like my weekly shop, and that usually lasts me the whole week. The one you can't get in the UK, said Jordan, I can't remember the name of it, but it's Parma Violet flavoured. It comes in a purple can. You can buy it in the UK in bulk from like online stores and stuff like that, but it's not in storefronts. You can't walk into a shop and buy it anymore, which is a shame because it's a really great flavour. I love Parma Violets. I'm a big fan of Parma Violets, so. Thanks for following, by the way, Xavier. Ever played DayZ or DayZ, says Apple user? I haven't, no. Now that genuinely is a game that I've always wanted to play and just never gotten round to it. God, I remember... Excuse me. I'm very sorry. I remember, like, 10 years ago, when I was still in secondary school, people talked about DayZ, and I always wanted to play it. But I just never got round to buying it, you know? I just never got round to it. But it's a game that has been on my radar for literally over a decade. Maybe I should actually buy it. Maybe I should just bite the bullet and finally buy the game that I've wanted to play for 10 years. Connor says, did you enjoy playing dress up as a kid? No, I didn't, Connor, actually. I hated getting dressed up. just in general, as a kid, I was very... I didn't really care about being fashionable as a kid, you know. I was always just wearing a plain t-shirt and, like, jogging bottoms, because I had absolutely no pride in my appearance. I really didn't care about how I looked. I take a lot more pride in my appearance now. because I'm like a lot more self-confident. I think the reason that I didn't care about how I looked when I was a kid was because I, deep down, hated how I looked. And I felt like, you know, I could ignore those feelings by pretending that I didn't care how I looked, right? And I realise that now, as an adult, that's what that was. Clearly being trolled with that question, says Blue Moon Mysteries. Maybe so, maybe so. But I prefer to treat all questions as legitimate, even troll questions, because some people might actually learn something from my answer. Even if you're asking a question just as a joke, it might be a question that has a genuinely interesting answer that people might be interested to hear. What's your favourite game of all time, says Neo77. My favourite game of all time is called Oddworld Abe's Exodus. It's a 1998 game for the PS1. It was the first video game I ever played, and it is to this day my favourite video game. I have played it 1,000 times. I played it here on stream back in, I believe, August last year. What a game. What a game. The entire Oddworld series is just something else. There genuinely is nothing else like it. There is no video game that has quite the same combination of traits that the Oddworld series has. You know, the art style, the wackiness of the characters, the darkness of the story, the quite overt political messaging. For all those people out there who believe that games like were not political before 2015, Oddworld does a great job of disproving that, because for a game from 1998, that game has a lot of political subtext. Neo says, first game I played was Simpsons Hit and Run. Oh, now you are talking, Neo. I have some very fond memories of Simpsons Hit and Run. Now, that is a blast from the past. I actually tried playing it on an emulator not long ago, like a few months back. There's a whole community that has revived the game and ported it and emulated it on Windows 10 and on like current operating systems. So if you're a big fan of Simpsons Hit and Run, you can still play it to this day, thanks to the tireless work of the online hit and run community. So yeah, I actually got a chance to play it last year, and it was such a nostalgia trip. It was everything I remember it being, you know. Are the lines on the field for the Headlands a mod, says Xavier? Nope, this is base game now. In FS25, you can use guidance steering, and the same system works for AI workers as well. This is all vanilla stuff. Was there a tractor in the Simpsons Hit and Run? I'm trying to remember now. There was. You can drive. You could drive Groundskeeper Willie's tractor in the Simpsons Hit and Run. There you go. We've linked it back to Farming Sim. You can drive a tractor in the Simpsons Hit and Run. What other games do you play, says George Robertson? In terms of streaming, the current schedule is I play Minecraft on a Monday, Farming Sim on a Friday, and Oddworld Munch's Odyssey on a Sunday. I do also stream a few other games every now and then. I do Factorio, Train Simulator, Euro Truck Simulator, stuff like that. In my personal time, all sorts of games. I like City Skylines. Big fan of City Skylines. I like my simulator games. Big fan of those. RuneScape, says George. No, I've never actually been into RuneScape, to be honest with you. It's never really been a game that's appealed to me. I do have a friend who's massively into RuneScape, but it's never really been my cup of tea, to be honest. Do you like playing Fortnite, says George? No, I've never really been interested in Fortnite either, to be honest. This is so satisfying to watch, says Johnny. Thanks, Johnny. Speaking of streams, by the way, I do just want to quickly mention, I don't know when it's going to be, but I am going to do a stream where I play Roadcraft. So, for those of you who don't know, a new game was just released last week. It's called Roadcraft. It's made by the same people who make SnowRunner and MudRunner. So it's a road construction game, but with like the ground deformation physics that MudRunner and SnowRunner have. It looks absolutely incredible. I 100% want to try that game on stream. Maybe as a one-off, maybe even as a series, because I did want to play SnowRunner as a series originally, but that never ended up happening. But yeah, I just wanted to let you know, Roadcraft, I 100% intend to play Roadcraft on stream within the next few weeks. I really, really do want to give that game a try. Do you like GTA, says George Robertson. I do indeed, George, yes. Big fan of GTA. First GTA I played was Vice City. Great game. Very nostalgic. World has gone to shit, people pretending to be kettles and ironing boards. That has literally never happened. Not once in the entirety of human history has a person identified as a kettle or an ironing board. You just made that up in your own head, I'm sorry to say. Unless it's you, unless you are the first person in history who's identifying as a kettle and or ironing board. But I can assure you, no one else has ever done that. Ever. Aaron says, I'm a person who wants to transition and needs some advice, please. Listen, I'm here to be an open book, Aaron, and I'll answer any questions that I can, but do please bear in mind that I have not medically transitioned. I'm not even on the waiting list, you know. I haven't taken any hormones or had any surgeries or anything like that, so if you want advice about medical transition and stuff like that, I am not the person to be asking. But by all means, you know, if you have any questions about like the social side of things, or like, you know, coming out to people, or even the legal side, I'm currently in the process of getting my legal name and gender recognised. I've got a passport application open at the minute, so I do know a little bit about that side of things. But like I say, in terms of medical stuff, I have no idea, because I haven't even started to go down that route yet. God, we are still in this field. How is this field so big? I swear to God, this field is on the map. It looks like it's the exact same size as Field 31, but it feels like it's twice the size. This is huge. There's still so much left. How is this field so big? Don't worry about that. God, it's already 5 o'clock, by the way. We're 2 hours into the stream. I didn't realise that we'd already passed the 2-hour mark. Only 1 hour to go. At least we have done some actual farming today, after the first hour where we were just driving around. Excuse me. Ooh. Do you watch Clarkson Farm? Says Theme Park Enthusiast. Kian. I do, yes. I do watch Clarkson's Farm. Big fan. I'm not quite up to date on the 4th series just yet. I've only watched the first 4 episodes. But I have been enjoying it. Big fan of Clarkson's Farm in general. You have a dress on, just so you know. These are dungarees, just so you know. I'm very sorry for sniffling again. Are you getting hay fever from the game? Says Pickled Monkey. No, unfortunately, Pickle Monkey, I'm just getting over quite a bad cold at the minute. I'm actually not too bad today. It's pretty much just a blocked nose and a bit of a tickle in the throat today, you know, but a couple of days ago, I was really, really bad. I'm over the worst of it now. Nice dress, bro, says Prim. Not a dress. Dungarees. What's this game, says Mr. Blixen. This is Farming Simulator 25. Nice cosplay, says KW20. Thanks, KW20. I'd love to know who you think I'm cosplaying as. Do tell. How long you been streaming for? 2 hours, and we're going to be going for another hour. I think 3 hours is a good length for a stream. It's not too short, not too long. I think anything over 3 hours, and I start to get a little bit bored, and if I'm starting to get bored, then you're starting to get bored, you know? But anything under 3 hours, like 2 hours, it just doesn't feel like... It's not really worth the effort to stream just for 2 hours, right? 3 hours is the sweet spot. 3 hours is perfect. P says, I wish I could find a nice pair of dungarees. They always make me look dumpy as fuck. I'm sorry about that, P. You got to get around the charity shops. I do a lot of looking around in charity shops, and I'm not afraid to admit that there's some of my favourite items in my wardrobe are things that I found in charity shops. You know, I do buy my fair share of new clothes. Don't get me wrong, but you'd be surprised by some of the things that you can find in a charity shop. You know. And they're everywhere. Like, just head to your nearest big town, and there's like 20 charity shops, and most of them have clothes because, like, that's like one of the most... That's like one of the most donated things to charity shops is clothes, right? So there's always loads of clothing to be found. And sometimes it's really good stuff. P says, next time I visit the city, I will. No good shops around here. Yeah, like I say, P, that's, the charity shop is your friend, you know. And the thing is, I think there's sort of a... there's a stigma about buying clothes from charity shops, and I don't get it. I don't get the problem. You know, because... they only sell clothes that are fit to be sold, right? If someone donates clothes to a charity shop and they've got massive holes in them, or they've got like really awful stains in them that can't be removed, they'll just throw them away. They only sell the clothes that are good enough to be sold, right? So why would you have any misgivings about wearing those clothes? They're the clothes that they have chosen to be suitable for being sold on, right? Anything that was unsuitable got thrown away. So yeah, I really don't... I don't care. Like I say, a lot of people, for some reason, have this stigma about buying and wearing clothes from charity shops. I don't get it. Buy clothes from charity shops. They're cheap. And you know, you can just find some really good hidden gems, you know? Why is the field turning yellow? Isn't it supposed to be going brown? Says Max W. You're not wrong, Max. I don't actually know why it's doing that. It might just be a bug, like the wrong textures being applied. Because cultivating shouldn't be doing this. Unless maybe it thinks that there's a crop in the field, and it's like mulching the crop. Because this is the texture that you get when you cultivate a field straight after harvesting it. So maybe that's what it's registering as being cultivated from harvest. Trans farmer, huh? Oh yes, yes indeed. I mean, not a real farmer, obviously. As much fun as it is to do in a video game, you know, I could do without the crippling financial risk of being an actual farmer. Jacob KTY says Supreme Court can do one. Couldn't agree more, Jacob. Nice to hear that sentiment. Such a rare sentiment to hear online. I think in online spaces, the negative voices tend to get amplified the most. You know, I think people forget that no matter how it might seem no matter how much it might seem online that trans people are like universally hated, factually they are not. Like statistically, it is a fact that the average person is accepting of trans people. So, you know, like I say, you go online and all you see is negativity, negativity, negativity. You speak to actual real people in the real world, most of them either don't care or they actively support people, you know? Slaying says the average person isn't they are slaying. They factually are. I forget the exact number, but there was a survey done recently in the UK of support for the trans community, and it was something like 70% or something, which is quite a significant portion. That's more than enough to say that the average person does support trans people. Skiatoma says, I'm certainly part of the 30%. See, but here's the thing, Skiatoma. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It genuinely doesn't matter to me that 30% of people hate me, because 70% of people don't. So, at the end of the day, doesn't matter. Doesn't affect me in the slightest. I'm going to save the game real quick. We just turned over that contract, by the way. Why haven't you bought a Deere, says Skiatoma. I'm not a big fan of John Deere's, to be perfectly honest. I don't think they're bad tractors, per se, but they're not really the best, you know? Sorry if that's blasphemy for anyone out there. I feel like the John Deere fanaticism is a lot bigger in the United States, which is obviously where John Deere's from. I think here in the UK, people have a more balanced view of John Deere, whereas in the US, John Deere tends to be a bit idolized. I just think they're okay. They're nothing to write home about. You know, I'd rather get a Fendt. I'd rather get a Fendt. I'd rather get a Massey. Love Masseys. Big fan of Massey Ferguson. Big fan of Case. You know. So yeah, they're okay. Sounds kind of counterintuitive, but can you use the driving setup for non-driving games? Says Jaron Craig. In theory, yes. This steering wheel does have thumbsticks on it, so you could use it like an actual controller. It kind of depends on the game. Some games are very easy to map controls to. Some games are a bit more picky. But yeah, I think you could quite easily set this up and play like a first-person shooter with it and just use the thumbsticks as if you were playing with a controller. The steering part maybe wouldn't work, but I don't see why you couldn't map the controls to use the thumbsticks like a controller. Do they have JCB? It says Oat Bakers. They do indeed. One second. I'm very sorry. They do have JCB. Let's have a quick look at JCB in the store. Oh, actually, they don't. They have... there's only one JCB piece of equipment, and it's a wheel loader. That's a shame, because there did used to be JCB tractors in previous games. I remember in FS19, there was the JCB Fast Track, which... Who doesn't love the Fast Track? What a, you know... literally the fastest tractor in the world. But it's not in this one, which is a shame. Okay, what are we actually doing right now? Hold on, let's take a look at our field and see what's going on with it. It's still in the growing phase. They're only with mods now for some stupid reason, says Skier. Yeah, it's a shame that a lot of equipment did get moved to mod only rather than being vanilla for no good reason, to be honest. It's snowing a little bit, by the way. I don't know if you saw that. There was a tiny little... Is that snow? No, I think that's just dust in the air. I think it's a bit too early in the year for snow. It's still only October. But maybe if we go to sleep. Did you abandon your chickens? I was just going to check on them, P. Hi, Saul. Could you give me your essential mods for this game, please? Says N. To be honest, I haven't played this one enough to have like an essential mod list yet. With 22, I did, but I don't think 25's been out long enough yet for there to be an essential mod list, you know? At the minute, the only mods that I have are the Giant Software mods that are made and published by Giant Software themselves. But yeah, like I say, I just haven't really played 25 enough to have that core mod list yet. But on FS22, you know, mods, I was quite big on realism mods that added in, you know, more realistic sounds or particle effects or, you know, physics, more realistic damage to tractors and stuff like that. All that kind of stuff, right up my street, because I do like a nice bit of realism in my simulators. Okay, let's check how the chickens are doing for food. Actually, they're still doing great for food. They've still got way more food than they actually need. So I think we can probably leave them for now. I think what I'll do. It's 5:15. Okay, I'm gonna go to sleep. And then I think we'll do another contract in the morning. And that'll probably take us through to the end of the stream. What you wearing? Says B2. This is... Well, these are dungarees. And this is a... It's actually a crop top. Obviously, you can't tell that it's a crop top because I'm covered completely by the dungarees, but the top actually stops like just below where you can see. It's a very short top, but the colour matches so nicely with these dungarees, you know. Okay, let's sleep till 6. Thanks for following Ryan Steele, or Ryan Steeler, sorry. Thank you, Chelsea Doherty and Klaz as well. I can't turn the clock down. It does this sometimes. Sometimes the button to turn down the speed of the clock just doesn't work. So I have to go to the menu to do it. There we go. Okay. Apologies. Okay, it is raining, which is going to make it a bit difficult to do any work. Let's fast forward a little bit till it gets lighter. A long time, says Klaz. Are you playing Farming Sim? I am indeed. It has been a long time. Not just for Farming Sim, but for streaming in general. I've been away for like 3 weeks, just because I've been busy with so many other things. Again, for those of you who weren't here at the start of the stream, I've had a very hectic couple of weeks. My spider died. My pet jumping spider Luna, who you may have seen on video or a couple of live streams. Unfortunately, she died last Monday. Big shock. It was unexpected because she didn't really show any signs of slowing down. It was just a very instant thing. She was just dead one morning. So it did come as quite a shock to me, but it happens. They only live for a couple of years anyway, and I had, you know, she was nearly a year old. In fact, it was almost exactly 11 months ago that I first got her, so she did well. She lived a fairly average lifespan for a jumping spider. I do intend to get another jumping spider soon, maybe even next week, because obviously I've still got the enclosure. I don't want to just leave it empty. Might as well just get another spider in there straight away. Which might sound a little bit cruel and detached, but at the end of the day, they are spiders. They don't live for long. It happens. They die, and then you can either get a new one or not. So I'm going to get a new one. And obviously when I do that, I will do a live stream as well. I did a live stream when I first got Luna. I did a stream where I set up the enclosure and, you know, put all the decorations and all the substrate in there. So I'll probably do the same thing again this time. Do a nice live stream when we do when I do get a new spider. Let's do a mowing job, why not? Oh, this is an interesting tractor as well. I haven't really driven that much. It's the same, or it might be pronounced Sammy. I'm not sure if it's pronounced Sammy or same. But this is a pretty, you know, it's a lesser known tractor brand, but they've been in the game for quite a few years, and they're pretty good. You know, they're fairly decent. I feel like not many people buy it because it's not one of the big brands. And I do feel like people in this game tend to only buy the big brands, you know, New Holland, Case, John Deere. Not enough people give these smaller tractors a chance from the lesser known manufacturers. So let's take this for a spin and see if it's any good. But anyway, getting back to the topic, I was talking about why I haven't been streaming for the last few weeks. So first of all, Luna died, big shock, very upset, but I had to cancel a live stream for that. Then my sister came to visit me, my sister who lives in Wales, so I don't really get a chance to see her very often. So when she came up to visit me for a few days and she brought her son with her, my nephew, obviously I wasn't gonna interrupt quality time with my sister and nephew to say, sorry, I'm just gonna go and do a quick live stream. So that's why there were no live streams last week. And then this week, I've been ill. So it's just been one thing after another. But I am back now, hopefully for good. Hopefully there won't be any big gaps in, you know, big gaps without any streams for the foreseeable future. But that's where I've been. Rip Luna says GFWD. Thank you, GFWD. Like I say, it was a big shock. In a way, I'm kind of glad that she went quickly, you know. I'm glad that she didn't, like, gradually slow down and you know, because that's what normally happens with pet spiders, is they get older, they can't move around as much, they don't eat as much, and, like, you know it's going to happen. Like, they take a long time to die, unfortunately. So in a way, I am kind of glad that I just woke up and she was dead. You know, I'd rather it be like that than see her slowly degrading, you know. So it is what it is. You had a pet spider. What type? Says Kaylin. She was a Phidippus ardens jumping spider. I've kept quite a few jumping spiders over the years. I love jumping spiders. They're so different from any other spiders, you know, because of the way their eyes are set and their behaviour as well. They're a lot more friendly than other types of spider. You'll hear a lot of people say that jumping spiders are the cure to arachnophobia, and I genuinely 100% believe that, because as a kid, I was terrified of spiders. I've always been very... I was always very scared of spiders growing up. But since keeping jumping spiders as pets, it's made me appreciate all spiders a lot more, you know? They're very misunderstood, you know? They at the end of the day, especially in the UK, there is no spider in this country that can do you any significant harm, right? Even the most dangerous spiders in this country, all they can really do is give you a rash. The only time people actually have significant reactions is if they're allergic. If they're allergic to the venom of a certain type of spider. But unless you have one of those allergies, there is not a single spider in this country that can do you serious medical harm. So and it just doesn't make sense why people are scared of them. And it's an irrational fear. Okay, like that's kind of the whole point of an irrational fear. Is it's a fear that doesn't make sense, right? You know. But it's a shame. It is a shame that people are afraid of spiders. I'm not saying, you know, I'm not saying if you are afraid of spiders you're a bad person or anything like that. I'm just saying, you know, I think a lot of that fear comes from misunderstanding, you know. So should I just leave the spiders in my room if I see them, says Adam D. I do. Yeah, not in my room. If I see spiders in my room, I tend to take them out. If I see them around the house, I'll just leave them be. If I see them in my bedroom, I'll try and catch them and put them out in the hallway or something like that. I tend not to let them outside. A lot of indoor spider species are like they don't survive too well outside. Like the common house spider. If you're not familiar with spiders, the common house spider is like one of the most common spiders in the UK. It's got a big black body and short legs. They run very, very fast. They're kind of like the typical creepy looking spider. And I can't imagine how many of those get killed every year by people who are scared of them, and it's such a shame. But that species in particular, they don't survive very well outside, so if you do see those in your house, it's better to just leave them be, or move them somewhere where they're out of sight, so they can just, you know, do their own thing. Like if you got a cupboard under the sink that you never use, put them in there. They'll be fine in there. They'll be out of your way, and they'll be safe. Okay, this is the field, but I don't know how we get into it. Do you think the joystick bundle is worth the money? Can't decide if I should get one or not, says Dan. I think it 100% is, yes. This bundle that I have, the Logitech Heavy Equipment Bundle, £230. It includes the wheel, the panel, and the pedals. It's worth it just for the panel. This is the best panel on the market, I believe. It's fantastic. The wheel, it's a bit cheap, it's a bit crap. But if you're getting it as a bundle with the panel, it's kind of worth it. You know what I mean? If you do just want the panel, you can get the panel on its own. And like I say, I would recommend doing that as well because it's just absolutely fantastic. But yeah, it's a good bundle. Just the panel makes it worth the price of the full bundle. Oh, whoops. Kaylin just bought the farm stick today, also have the panel. Oh yeah, the farm stick. I do want to get the farm stick. I was actually going to get the farm stick last year, but I ended up passing it over to get the gear shifter here instead. But I have heard very good things about the farm stick. And it looks so good. It just fits so well here on my desk, next to the ignition key and the side panel. You know, a little farm stick there. Oh, whoops! This is a bit of a difficult gate to get through. I think we got the mower stuck on the gate. Yeah. This mower's massive as well, by the way. This seems like quite a big mower for this tractor. Oh, forgot. Okay. No, oh, we're gonna get stuck. We're gonna get stuck. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll go up the road, I'll turn around, and we'll go in from the other side. Because I think the problem is we're getting stuck on the gate. Do you ever use the gear stick for farming sims, says Kaylin? I don't think it can be mapped. Certainly I couldn't figure out how to do it. If there is a way, by all means, please someone let me know. But as far as I know, there's no way to actually map this gear shifter to farming sim, which is a shame. Do you need mods for that map? Says Finny. The map itself is a mod, yes. It's called Moss Valley Farm. Okay, I'm going to do something a bit unrealistic here. I'm just going to drive through the hedge. Because I need to turn around. There we go. Kaylin, I have the Logitech gear stick. It works on farming sim. Oh, maybe there is a way then. Maybe I just need to figure out how. Because it would be good, obviously, to use this as a sequential gear shifter. Not sequential. Is it sequential? What's the one where you shift up and down like that? But you don't use the whole gearbox. There we go. Sequential. It is sequential. Okay, I got it right. Oh, we've not quite got that through yet. Because obviously, the thing about farming sim is every single tractor has a completely different gearbox. So really, the only setup that makes sense is to just have it sequential. Whereas with Euro Truck, because I drive the same truck almost all the time, I can have all the gears mapped and use it as a full manual gearbox. Okay, this is the field that we are going to be mowing. What a strange shaped mower. Well, let's go. A up says, "Hi Saul, how are you doing?" We are missing so much here, by the way. The thing is, because this is a grass field, it's difficult to know where the actual field begins, like the actual marked field that counts towards the mowing status. I mean, we can always do the edge. We can always get closer to the edge if necessary. We'll just do a rough job of it for now. I think the mowing contracts are usually fairly lenient anyway. You don't have to be too precise with the mowing because it'll give you quite a lot of leeway. Sorry. Oh, we're nearly finished now. Oh. I just know that after this live stream, like the second that the camera stops rolling, I'm gonna sneeze so hard. Like I say, hopefully by Sunday, I'll be feeling better. Sunday's the next live stream, and I am over the worst of it. It's pretty much just a little bit of a blocked nose and a bit of a cough. But by Sunday, I should be back to normal for Munch's Odyssey. Is that a 12-meter mower? I didn't actually check how wide the mower is. Why is it not mowing? There we go. It looks about... No, it looks less than 12. That looks 8, maybe? I'll have to check in the shop. Mowers. It's only 6 meters. Damn. Okay. Well, I guessed 8, so It looks bigger than 6, to be fair. That does look... I mean, it doesn't look like 12, but it doesn't look like 6 either. I would have guessed about 8 meters for that. But no, it's only 6. What are you playing on? Says JT Tubbs. This is PC. Why are you missing so much, says Finley. This isn't my field, Finley. This is only a contract, so... With contracts, you don't really have to be too precise. They give you a bit of leeway. And it's only mowing, like... It's one of those jobs that doesn't really... I don't want to say it doesn't really matter, but... It's only grass, you know, it's... A little missed bit here and there isn't the biggest deal. Should have started on the tram line and made your way out, says me. I always start with the headlands. Why are you missing so much, says Kevin. I honestly haven't even missed that much. I mean, there's a little sliver here and that bit there, which I'll get when I come round anyway, because I'm still doing headlands. And again, it is a contract, so if it was my own field, I would be a lot more precise about it. You know, like I said earlier, I do try to be as precise as possible with my own fields, but this is just a contract. So once the field's done, once I've done enough to satisfy the contract, as soon as I turn the contract in, the rest of the field will automatically be mowed. That bit's quite bad, admittedly. And that bit is also quite bad. Okay, maybe I have actually missed quite a lot, but again, it doesn't matter. As long as it's enough to satisfy the contract, as long as the contract gets to 100%, I've got the mower stuck on the fence. Callum Blades, what did your dad say about this? Good question, Callum Blades. Funny story, actually. When I came out to my parents, when I sat them down for that awkward conversation, you know, and I said, Mum, Dad, I'm transgender, they said, yeah, we know. They... Well, no, to be fair, they didn't know. They thought I was going to come out as gay, but they knew I was going to come out. They were not surprised in the slightest. And they've been very, very supportive of me from day one. Oh, there's a telegraph pole there. We'll have to slip around it. I just wanted to let you know, wanted to help, not trying to be rude. No, it's okay, Kevin. It's fine. But yeah, like I was saying, my dad in particular, I mean both my parents, and to be honest, my entire family have all been extremely accepting, which is amazing. But my dad in particular has been very, very vocally supportive of me. Don't you have GPS, says me? I do, yeah, but I'm not going to use it for the sake of a grass field. It doesn't really seem worth the hassle. We could probably get closer to the telegraph pole as well. In fact, I think we probably will need to get closer to the telegraph pole to fulfill the contract. But for now, we'll leave it. We'll come back to that. Also, I should be turning to the right because the turning circle's way smaller in that direction because of the shape of the mower. How much is the game, says James. I believe it's £30 on Steam for the standard edition. I pre-ordered the collector's edition, which was £60, but if you're a casual player, there's not really much in the collector's edition to interest you. There's some posters and the ignition lock, but you know, there's nothing, like I say, there's nothing really in the collector's edition to entice casual players. It's more for collectors. So if you just want the base game, it's like 30 quid. Do you ever do trucking, says Kevin? I do indeed. I've actually been taking a bit of a break from Euro Truck for the last couple of months, but I do play a lot of Euro Truck Simulator. I do stream Euro Truck Simulator a lot, and I've played other trucking games as well. Like I said earlier, I'd quite like to try Roadcraft, which is a new game from the creators of Mudrunner. I'd like to play that on stream in the next couple of weeks, so big fan of trucking games. Any driving games really, trucks, tractors, buses, trains, although obviously can't drive trains with the wheel, but I do play Train Simulator is actually my most played game on Steam. Get well soon, says Greg. Thanks, Greg. Yeah, like I say, hopefully I'll be over the worst of it by Sunday, when I'm going to be playing some more Oddworld Munch's Odyssey. We're already a third of the way. We've only done one episode of Munch's Odyssey, and we're already a third of the way through the game. I forgot how short that game is. It's probably only going to be 2 more episodes before we're done with it. Tomage says, it's time to quit playing silly games, go to the gym, do something beneficial. Right back at you, Tomage. It's probably time for you to stop commenting on live streams of people playing silly games and go to the gym and do something beneficial, you know? Surely if me playing this game is a waste of time, then you watching me play this game is also a waste of time. So just don't do it. Just go and do something else. Are you trans? No hate intended, says Max. I am indeed, Max, yes. I'm transgender. I've been out for about 5 years. %, so we will have to get this bit around the telegraph pole to get us to 100%. And we got stuck on it again. Happy Pride Month, says Joe. Thanks, Joe. Yeah, it's a shame. Shame I'm not feeling too well. I actually got ill on the first day of Pride Month, so I think it's a hate crime. I think some transphobe sneezed on me while I was out in public to deliberately make me ill during Pride Month. So I will be reporting that as a hate crime to the police. I'm just trying to get this bit around the telegraph pole. This is so tricky. Okay, thank God we got it. Okay, job done. How much did you pay for FS25? How much did I pay, Sean? I paid £60 because I got the collector's edition. But the standard edition, I believe, is £30. How long have you been suffering? About 5 days. Like I say, it was literally the first of the month when I came down with a cold. Then it got worse, and you know, like by sort of Wednesday, that was the peak of it. I'm over the worst now. Pretty much just a blocked nose and a bit of a cough. So a couple more days. I think we'll be back to normal. How much did you pay for your setup, says John? Just over £2,000, John. That includes everything. That includes the PC. I've got 3 monitors. I've got all my simulation gear. I've got, obviously, a webcam, microphone, headphones. That price even includes my chair, my desk, my lights, lots of other little bits and pieces that you might not think to include. So, yeah, basically £2,000 for absolutely everything that I have on my desk, including the desk itself. If you want to know more about my setup and you want to find out more about how much each individual piece cost, do check out my pinned video. I do have a pinned video where I talk about where I bought everything from and how much it all cost. It's I think a 6-minute video, but worth the watch if you're curious. If you want to know, for example, where the gear shifter's from, or where the steering wheel's from, or where the beacon light's from, you know, check out that video, and it will tell you everything you could possibly want to know. Thanks for following as well, by the way, John. Okay, we only have 15 minutes left, so I am not going to commit to another job. I don't think we really have time for that. Keep getting stuck in the wall there. We'll see if there's anything else that can be done around the farm before we wrap things up. What's been wrong, says Kalen. Says Calbert. Like I say, it's just a cold. It's nothing serious. It's just a cold. The only reason that I haven't been streaming while I've had a cold is because I didn't want you to have to hear me coughing and sneezing for 3 hours. I decided that today I was just about well enough that it wouldn't be too bad, which is why I've decided to stream today. But yeah, it's nothing serious. It's literally just a cold. Do you have chest pains? No, it's not. Honestly, it's nothing like that. It's literally just a little bit of a cold. Just a runny nose and a cough. That's it. That's all it is. When did you swap when did you swap teams? If you mean when did I come out? 5 years ago. I really don't think there is anything else to do about the farm, actually. We could have a quick look in the shop, see if there's anything interesting worth buying. A vegetable harvester for 18 grand. I mean, if we could find a very tiny field that has vegetables in it. Why are you pretending you're something you're not? Pred, says Daniel Turner. Okay. I'm not even gonna dignify that with an answer. But I think we'll leave it there, to be honest. Like I say, unless I can find a very small field with some veg in it that might justify me purchasing this second-hand harvester. Crop types. I don't think there is, really. No, it's pretty much all... the thing is, all the big fields have the veg in it, and it's the vegetables are the hardest and slowest thing to harvest, because the veg harvester... I'm not exaggerating. The vegetable harvesting machine, it goes at 3 miles per hour, and it harvests 1 row of vegetables at a time. Like, literally 1 single row of carrots at a time. Imagine that in a field that big. That's insane. That would take you that would take you days. That would take you real life days to harvest that field with carrots in it. I'm not doing that. I'm not putting myself through that. There's green beans in field 14, but I don't think this machine works on green beans. It doesn't. It only works on red beet, carrots, and parsnips. Which, again, there's just nothing in a reasonably sized field. So yeah, I think we'll just leave it there. I think we'll leave it there. Sorry, that was way too close to the mic. Okay. We're finishing in a minute anyway. What was your original name? Says Stefano. Saul is my original name. That is the name that I was given by my parents when I was born. My dad specifically chose it because he's a big fan of Guns N' Roses, and it is the real name of Slash, the lead guitarist, who is widely considered to be, you know, one of the greatest guitarists who ever lived. Pretty badass guy. So I think it's pretty cool that I am named after him. So I've never had any intention of changing my name. I've always thought Saul is a pretty damn cool name to have. Especially in this country, it's not a very common name in the UK. So I'm honoured to carry the name Saul. Anyway, let's have a quick look in the mod. Actually, no. No, I think I was going to look in the mod hub, but there's actually not anything really to look at there that we haven't already seen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap up the stream now, and we'll do a last minute. We'll do a last 5 minutes little chat kind of deal. I'll put some music on. There we go. Okay. But yeah, that really is all I have time for today in terms of farming sim. This stream went a lot better than the last one. There was a lot less issues with the game lagging and with the camera lagging. It still happened a bit, but not as badly. I think it went pretty well, and we got some stuff done. We did a couple of contracts. We did some soil sampling in our fields, so we've started out down the path of precision farming. Just all round a lot more successful than the first episode. So I think we'll pretend that didn't happen, and we'll count this as the first proper episode of this series on this map. But there will be more Moss Valley coming next Friday. One second. Yeah, so there'll be more farming sim coming next Friday. The next live stream is going to be Sunday, where I'm going to be playing more Munch's Odyssey. Speaking of Munch's Odyssey, just behind me there is actually my collector's edition of Munch's Odyssey, which I bought back in 2018. It's very limited. There's only 1,000 of those in the world, and I was lucky enough to get one back in 2018. Great game. I'll be playing more of that on Sunday, and then on Monday, obviously, more Minecraft. In terms of other stuff this month, I'm going to be continuing with my usual series. I'm going to be doing Minecraft Monday, Farm Sim Friday, Sci-Fi Sunday. Once we've finished Munch's Odyssey, I might bring back Maybe Trucking Tuesday. I'm not going to say for definite, but I might bring another series back. There's a few one-off streams that I want to do this month as well. Obviously, I mentioned earlier that I want to play Roadcraft. That might turn into a series, but at the very least, I want to do a one-off stream of Roadcraft. Give it a try. Do a little bit of a first look at the game. It's already been out for a week, but you know, better late than never. I'm also going to be doing a spider stream because I have got plans to get a new spider, maybe next week, maybe the week after, but obviously, like I said earlier, it's been a week now since Luna died. I don't want the enclosure just sitting there empty. Might as well put another spider in it, so I'll be buying a new spider, and when I do, I'll be doing a live stream, you know, to unbox the spider and set up the enclosure, fresh substrate and decorations and all that kind of stuff. So that'll be coming at some point this month. There was another one-off stream, but I've forgotten what it was. There was another one-off stream that I wanted to do this month. I can't remember it. It'll come back to me. It'll come back to me. At the end of the month, I'll probably do an evening with Saul as well. I'm very sorry that we didn't do that this month because the end of May was such a hectic time. We didn't get time to do the end of month retrospective, and we didn't get time to do the evening with Saul, the cozy stream. But we'll try and do both of those this month as well. What was the other thing? There was another stream. I cannot remember. There was another live stream that there was another one-off live stream that I was going to do, and I can't remember what it was. It will come back to me. But other than that, that's pretty much all I've got planned in terms of live streams. Are you doing a funeral for your old spider? Says N. I didn't do a funeral, no, but I did put her out in the garden. That's what I normally do with my spiders when they die. Obviously, jumping spiders, they're only about that big. They're very tiny little things. I wouldn't put like a big tarantula out in the garden or anything like that. But with a jumping spider, I just put them out in the garden in the dirt, like next to the veg or wherever, and you know, just let nature reclaim it. I think that's the best way to do something like that. I put Luna out in the garden, and I came back a few hours later, and she had been completely dismembered by ants. But that's nature, you know. That's the way of the world. She was dead. You know, her body was just going to go to waste. I'm glad that those ants ate good on dead spider. So that's that. That's how my last memory of Luna forever will be seeing her corpse being eaten by ants. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Back to let's get back on track. Okay, so that's the live streams. In terms of videos this month, there's a few things coming as well. I am currently in the middle of writing the script for my next Lego tour video. I've written about 3/4 of it, so there will be part 4 of the Lego tour coming very, very soon. And that's also reminded me what the other live stream was. There is a brand new Lego set that's just came out. A Lego Minecraft set. It's a creeper. It's about this big, like a big brick-built Lego creeper. It looks really cool, and it's only £35. I'm gonna buy it. So I'll be building that on stream. That's the other live stream that I forgot. I don't know if that's going to be next week or the week after, because it's already sold out. It's on back order, so if I like back order it, it'll probably arrive towards the end of the month. But I do intend to build that on stream, and I'll probably do a review video for that as well. There's a couple of... Look, I'm going to level with you. There is this one queer discussion video that I started writing in March, and it's still not finished. I just can't figure out how to wrap it up. script-wise. I can't write the ending for this video, and it's really annoying me now because it's been legitimately 3 months since I had the idea for this video, and it's still not even... the script still hasn't even been written. So there might be a queer discussion video this month. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I'll do what I can. Maybe there'll be a piano video. I haven't really got any tunes that I'm working on at the minute. Don't have any pieces that are really ready enough to do a video of. So again, I don't know about that either. Basically, any videos are purely speculative. Live streams, there's going to be plenty of those, but videos, I genuinely have no idea. There might be some videos, and there might not. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that's it. That's my plan for the month. So thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to me catch you up on what's been happening in my personal life for the last few weeks. I am back now, hopefully back for good. I'll see you on Sunday for Munch's Odyssey. That's pretty much everything. So, unless anyone has any closing thoughts that they'd like to add, I think we'll leave it there for today. So, thank you everyone. Thank you so very, very much for joining me today. I've had a wonderful time. It's been great to get back. Excuse me. I'm going to do it again. Okay, it's been great to get back, and like I say, hopefully it will be for good. If you have enjoyed the stream but you haven't already followed, please do. If you're watching on YouTube, please go ahead and subscribe. We just hit 100 subscribers on YouTube not long ago, so thank you very much, everyone who has subscribed over there. If you'd like to check out my other platforms, I am on Instagram and Blue Sky, but I very rarely post on either of them. You can find them in my bio anyway if you're interested. If you want to keep up to date with when I post stuff, you can join the Discord. It's a good place for you to chat with me and get notified when I stream and when I post and stuff like that, so please check that out as well. And of course, if you would like to support me financially, please consider checking out my Patreon, like these fine folks here. Thank you very much to Kate, Sophie, Jess and Daniel for supporting me over there. There's a link in my bio. It only costs £1 a month. £1 single pound, 100 pence per month. That's cheap as chips. It's cheaper than chips. Chips are expensive these days. My Patreon is not. So if you wanna check that out, totally up to you. But it would be very much appreciated. That's it. That's all I've got time for. I'm going to go ahead now and rest my voice for a bit, and hopefully when I come back on Sunday, my voice will be back to its luscious usual self, and I'll be completely over my sore throat and cold. That's all. Thanks everyone. I'll see you on Sunday. Bye-bye. And bye-bye everyone over on YouTube as well. Once again, sorry for the cold, but hopefully you've had a good time.